Draw.
Cues. Some feel awesome but rarely get value. Some feel lame but can be game-changing. And some are criminally underrated. But what are the best and worst ultimates in Overwatch and stuff? Trigger warning.
Obviously, all ults when used at the right time will usually give value in the video entertainment purposes. I leave subscription and Patreon request over my Jordan Bez.
Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to my TF2 channel, the home of all things TF2. Today we're talking about Overwatch. I'm pretty sure that all diehard TF2 fans also love Overwatch, right? Someone told me that. That's true, right? But on a serious note, don't worry, I have lots of TF2 videos coming up, but this is a topic I've wanted to do a video on for a while now. I just had some fun ideas around this that I wanted to share with you guys. Now I was thinking perhaps I could do a tier list video.
So next up we have Zarya's Graviton. This one's very good because it sucks all of the boys. I'm going to put it in super sexy SS.
But I decided against it. I thought it would be more interesting to get you guys to decide what the best and worst ults are in Overwatch. So I put out a little questionnaire on Twitter because I thought it'd be way more interesting to see what you guys think and what the general consensus is regarding the best and worst ultimates. As always, I've popped some timestamps below if you want to skip ahead to a certain section. But first of all, I wanted to very quickly run through my personal list, just for fun. And remember, I'm a borderline gold/plat player, and at some weekends, I play this game for up to 2 hours at a time. So I think I know what I'm talking about. Okay, here's my top 5 most lame Overwatch ultimates. Now, this has nothing to do with value, this is purely to do with how good it feels to use them. Number 1. Orisa. So Orisa is a bit like Reinhardt, but you get to hold down the left button too. The thing about Orisa is she stands behind a shield, shooting, and then sometimes she kind of puts down a bongo drum, and then she continues to stand behind a shield, shooting. So that's kind of cool. Number 2, Baptiste. The thing about his ultimate is it's incredible because you get a 3-inch window for your entire team to fire through, which amplifies your damage for massive gain. Oh wait, the enemy team just went around the corner. Forget that. Wait a second though, let me put this to you. Why in the name of Jeebus is one of Baptiste's abilities better than his actual ultimate? Yes, I'm talking about Immortality Field. It's freaking awesome. Next up, number 3, Moira, the only DPS that they accidentally put in the support category. When it comes to her ultimate, it's insane how much damage and healing you can do at the same time, as long as the entire enemy and allied teams all happen to be in a line doing the conga. Number 4, Mercy, the sweetheart hero of Overwatch, with some intense left-click gameplay. But wait until you see her ult. If you thought holding down that left button was good, imagine holding it down while floating. I know, mental. And finally, our little friend, Bastion. I love playing Bastion, and luckily he is a staple pick and a highly respected hero in both the casual and competitive worlds of Overwatch. And his ultimate, well, it's just awesome because you get to turn into a tank and do slightly less damage than you were a minute ago just shooting normally in turret mode. But next up, my top 5 list of most epically Overwatch ultimates. I'll make this very brief because let's be honest, it's pretty much anything that gets all of the kills. Although with the exception of number 1, the Grav. It's beautiful. It doesn't even matter if you get follow-up kills. It just feels awesome, so satisfying, getting 3, 4, 5, 6 people caught in a Grav. They're just wriggling around helplessly. It feels good. Next up, a big fat McCree Deadeye. They always work, so that's good. Number 3, Genji's Blade, if you know how to use it. I do not. Number 4, Pharah when she rains down death from above. Again, works perfectly fine as long as you are bubbled, nanoed, have 5 pocket healers and potentially 2 or 3 shields as well. And finally, number 5, Reaper's ultimate. That feels really good too, because you get to walk forward and press Q and the entire enemy team dies. Okay, less of that. I know you love my opinion, but this is the real meat of the video. Let's take a look at what you guys said were the best and worst ultimates in Overwatch. So I asked 6 questions via Twitter. Which ultimate has the most value, the least value? Which is the most satisfying, the least satisfying? And the most overrated and underrated? And the way the question was structured is to simply pick one ultimate. So I didn't ask you to actually rank these, I just picked the most popular 5 in each instance. So let's start with the most value. And you guys said with 20% of the votes, Zenyatta, which I understand. I can agree with that. Next up was Zarya and Sombra. Next up was Anna and Mercy with 7%. These ones I wasn't so sure about. Ana? Really? I'm very confused here, guys. Fill me in. Now, I know they made a change to her recently that means when you nano boost someone, you instantly heal the target as well. So obviously you can get a lot of value from that, but I never would have thought it was in the top 5. And Mercy, yeah, I guess kind of borderline. Again, I don't play Mercy at all, so it'd be good to get your thoughts on that one too. But for this list, I'm surprised we didn't see Lucio in it. Maybe MaRz ult can be freaking awesome sometimes. Even Bob in lower ranks. I think there are some other options that would sit above Ana. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, which ultimates have the least value? Number 1 and 2, Widowmaker and Baptiste with 11.6%, and then McCree, Tracer, Doomfist and Mercy all drawing in kind of second place-ish, if you see what I mean, with 9.3%. Now then, we need to have a talk here. This I disagree with. Widowmaker, I think her ultimate has huge value. You see, the thing about Widowmaker's infra sites is that you're guaranteed some value. Whenever you click that Q button, whatever the scenario, you are guaranteed some value, unless you die immediately because it cancels the ultimate. But yeah, whereas with other ultimates, say Reinhardt's Shatter, you can literally get 0 value from that if you screw it up. But anyway, we'll talk about this in just a moment as well. Baptiste, yes, I can relate to that. It was in my personal list. Very situational. If you're in a corridor and your entire team is behind it, you're living the dream. If in lower ranks, you're all spread out and it's chaos, you can easily get 0 value from it. McCree, well, yeah, McCree's Deadeye never goes down well. Tracer, difficult to get value out of, that's fair to say. Doomfist's Meteor Strike is mainly used as a kind of escape mechanism, so I can kind of understand that being there. Mercy, well, someone's just lying to me here. Does it have the most or least value? I don't know. You tell me, folks. And if there was one thing missing from this list, perhaps I maybe would have put Pharah in this, just because it's so difficult to use this ult, get a couple of kills and survive. It's very difficult to pull off. The next list is the most satisfying, epic, awesome, feels good man ultimates. And at number 1 and at number 2 were Genji and D.Va. Now, I don't play Genji or D.Va, but they look pretty sick when they get play of the game. I've seen some very cool looking Genji ults. And when you throw your D.Va mech into the distance and you just see the 6k in the corner of the screen, I can imagine that's satisfying. I've totally done that loads of times, so I totally know what that feels like. McCree, yes, when it works, it's massively satisfying, just very difficult to pull off with the way the game is structured with a lot of shields at the moment, and obviously you glow and everyone looks around at you and you start shouting at the top of your lungs that it's high noon. Yeah, it doesn't normally go down too well. Next up was Ashe with 7%, interesting. Throwing out a Bob, yeah, kind of fun, I guess. And next up was Soldier, Rein, Lucio and Baptiste. Now, Soldier and Rein, these are 2 I would have put in this list for sure. I play a lot of Soldier, it feels amazing, again, as long as there aren't millions of shields about. The Rein Shatter, obviously that can feel amazing. Lucio and Baptiste, very surprised to see that there. If you were someone who voted, by the way, let me know your thoughts. Why is it you voted for some of these that I'm confused about? I'd love to hear from you. Next up, the least satisfying ultimates in Overwatch and stuff. The majority of this list makes sense to me. So number 1 was Widowmaker. I can understand that. You press Q, Widowmaker does a little animation, and now you can see through walls. It doesn't have a huge immediate impact. It's only those follow-up headshots you get that feel really good. Ana, makes sense. You're giving all that joy to someone else. Very selfless hero. Tracer, I would disagree here. I would say it's very satisfying. If you manage to stick a bomb on a squishy and they just explode, it feels really good. It's just very difficult to do. Again, Roadhog feels amazing. I'm not sure why it's in this list. The thing about Roadhog's ultimate is often you just launch the enemy team away from you or a shield gets put down, and so that can be a bit frustrating. But occasionally, as someone who plays Hog a lot, it can feel really satisfying, real good. Orisa, agreed. You put down a bongo and you carry on with your life. Lucio, a little bit surprising. The fact that it was in the most satisfying and least satisfying list, I don't know who to believe. I mean, the animation feels good, but it's not like you're getting loads of kills. I wouldn't have put it in the most satisfying list. I think it's harsh to put it in this list too, I'm not sure. And finally, Baptiste, yes, I would agree with that for the reasons we talked about earlier. The last 2 lists. What are the most overrated ultimates? Now, bit of a weird question, but let's go through it anyway. So Genji was number 1 with 18.6%. I have no idea how to use that ultimate. When I get a Genji blade, I just immediately die. So I can kind of relate to that. Next up, Ana. She's popping up all over the place. A minute ago we were saying she has the most value. You can't say that and say she's overrated. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought this one was overrated. Next up, Bastion. I don't know what people's thoughts are on this ultimate, but I would agree that it's a little bit lame in my personal experience. Reaper, yes, it gets a lot of those epic frag clip videos on YouTube, but very often it can go very wrong. Again, this is in my experience as a terrible Reaper player. And Soldier, yeah, I can kind of understand that. Again, it's down to having lots of shields. It can easily get very little value. And the final list, the most underrated ultimates in Overwatch. And interestingly, you guys said Junkrat was the top of the list with 11.6%. Interesting. I guess I'd agree with you, because what I like about it is that you're kind of guaranteed at least one kill in most cases. Next up we have Lucio. I'm pretty sure everyone's very aware that his ultimate is amazing, so I disagree with that. Roadhog, I would agree with that. Well, it was in the least satisfying list, so that kind of makes sense. Symmetra, I would agree with. I think Symmetra's ultimate is freaking awesome. The infinite shield that just cuts the entire map in half. I don't know if it's underrated, but yeah, I guess it doesn't get a huge amount of attention. Finally, Torbjorn and Anna. I don't know. At this stage, I don't even know anymore. But what I will say is that for me, two heroes that are missing from this list are Widowmaker and Winston. Like I said, Widowmaker, and taking a look back at the least value list we looked at earlier, Widowmaker was at the top of that list, which kind of reinforces my point. People seem to think that her ultimate is a little bit trash, but I would completely disagree. It has a huge amount of value, potentially more so at lower ranks where the entire battle seems to be spread out all over the gaff and it's just chaos. But yeah, with this ultimate you get to see if there are any cheeky little flanks going on, and like I said earlier, every single member of your team gets that invaluable intelligence, and it's very difficult not to get value out of it because you just have to press Q and literally your entire team gets wall hacks. So I'm a big fan of the Widowmaker ultimate, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on that one too. And finally, Winston, I would throw him in this list too, because I think, again, at lower ranks, people seem to think he just sort of juggles people about, but you can do some freaking awesome things with him, and I think he's a little underrated. Well, there we have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for enduring this Overwatch content. Don't you worry yourself. Lots of TF2 content coming up down the line. Leave a like. I think that's you meant to say that and stuff. What else you meant to say? Just look in the description. Have a look down below in the description and do all of those things and you'll be living the dream. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Surrender to my will.